Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic related to child development and pedagogy, and a very important topic, that is concept of development and principles of development, and also the stages of development. And this topic is very important for those aspirants preparing for Central Teacher Eligibility Test, Uttar Pradesh Teacher Eligibility Test, that is UP TET, TS TET, REET, that is Rajasthan eligibility examination for teachers, and also DSSB, that is Delhi Subordinate Service Selection Board, PGT, TGT, and PRT. So there will be a compulsory question from this topic. So let us start the session by understanding the concept of development. And before starting this session, we will pose a question for ourselves or to an educators, that why is it important for teachers to know about development. So here it is to better understand the learner and to plan or structure accordingly to develop the cognitive levels of the learner if needed. So if an educator has an intricate understanding of human development and use this understanding to make assessments about behaviors of children in the classroom, and also to determine whether child's development is on the track or not. So let us start. What development is? Development, when we think about the meaning, we say that to grow, mature, or to evolve. Or in Hindi, we can say vikas, unnati, badna. So it is a process that includes growth, maturation, and learning. Now, when we say, for instance, a child has grown from 128 centimeters in height to 133 centimeters, so do you consider it as development? No. We call it that there has been growth from 128 to 133 centimeters. So a child who is in 5th standard will not be of same height when he comes to 8th or 9th standard. So here we are speaking about the physical aspect, that is the size. We are speaking about the size, and we are giving the number, that is from 128 to 133. In general, we feel that development and growth are the similar words when we are understanding the meanings of it. But there is a distinction between these two. The difference is, when we speak about growth, it is a physical aspect and it is a quantitative aspect, that is, we can say the number, and also it can be measured, how long he has grown, for instance. So when we speak about the development, it's an orderly achievement of maturity and it is a qualitative aspect, and this development can only be assessed but cannot be measured. So development manifests a change in behavior qualitatively, how the change has been occurred. So this development has got, now I hope we have understood the distinction between the growth and development. So this development has got three main domains, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So, what is cognitive domain? Cognitive means thinking, reasoning, or remembering, or the thought process. In Hindi, संज्ञानात्मक विकास or ज्ञान संबंधी. So, in simple terms, we can say the process of acquiring knowledge, understanding through thought, experience, and senses. So, when we say about effective, it is related to moods, feelings, attitudes, or self, that is bhavatmak, or emotional actions driven by feelings. So, for example, for instance, if our friend says something which hurts you, we feel it, bhavatmak, so it is called. Now, emotional actions, those are emotional actions. We cry or we express that we are hurt. And next we have psychomotor. It is nothing but it's a conscious movement of our arms, legs, hands, or the mental activity, through the mental activity, that is mano prerna. The physical movements, coordinated activity involving our arms, hands, legs, etc. So these are the three main domains of development. We will see the stages of development. So, first is early childhood, that is 2 to 6 years of age. Later childhood, 6 to 12 years. Adolescence, 13 to 19 years. So, first, how development occurs in early childhood. Now, the early childhood is, that is 2 to 6 years of age children of this group are preschoolers, that is they go to play schools. They are very curious, they get easily distracted, and also they get fascinated by the world around them, right? And they also ask many questions like who, what, why. Questions are asked. And also they fear being in the dark. So when like when we say the children of this age group that we will put you in a dark room, then there will be a lot of fear in them. They cry, right? And the children of this age group has got no logical operations, and their vocabulary also expands, right? They show aggression if you touch their objects or if you touch their toys. They cry, they show anger, right? Antagonist behavior they show. Mostly these age group children play with toys and only play school, no mainstream education. They will be self centric and curious. And they show animism, that is, they feel that all things or objects around them are living. This is about development in early childhood. Next, we have later childhood, that is 6 to 12 years of age group children. Here, the children of this age group are elementary school stage. They start going to school, right? This is a troublesome age, and they devote more time with peer group. They will have lot of friends. They feel happy when they are with the friends, and they start going to school, and they start thinking from concrete to abstractness, and they feel like people don't understand their feelings. So this is about later childhood. And we have adolescent age, that is 13 to 19 years of age. Here they think abstractly, the children of this age group. That is, when we say when we say assume or imagine, so these abstractness they can think about, and there will be lot of changes in them, socially, biologically, and personal changes. This age is called stress and storm stage. They strive to be socially accepted, and they are confused about their identity. That means sometimes parents say that you are a child, you cannot take any decisions, or sometimes for work they say that now you are grown up, you have to think this way. So they literally get confused about their identity, whether they are children or adults. And this is the age of unrealism. They have got adolescent egocentrism, that is, they feel like their parents or elders don't understand their feelings. So they live in the world of imagination and no concern about the real world. And also, adolescents they feel that everyone notices them, like how they walk, talk, etc. And also, they develop imaginary audience, and they spend more time in front of mirror before they go out. This is adolescence development. And we will see now about the principles of development. First, principle of interaction between heredity and environment. So, principle of interaction between heredity and environment is no person is born without genes. So, an individual's development is based on his genetic makeup and environmental influence. So, a child's body structure, mental setting, personal and behavioral qualities are drawn from heredity, which are influenced by environment. Simply, we can say heredity gives us the body structure, complexion, or features, etc., and environment provides the opportunities to develop them. This is about principle of interaction between heredity and environment. Next, we have principle of predictability. So we can know at what age child will speak or learn to walk and so on. This is principle of predictability. Principle of individual differences. That is, every individual in this world have got different body shapes, different genetics in them. They have different past experiences. So many variations from person to another, and variables such as values, rate of cognitive development. So one student learns quickly, the another student learns slowly. So there will be a lot of differences between individuals. Sorry, among individuals. Here, principle of maturation and learning. Now, maturity comes as a result of chronological age and mental development. So, his behavior pattern is shaped through learning. Next, we have principle of continuity. That is, the process of growth and development continues from conception to death. So, it is a never ending process. Next, we have principle of proceeding from general to specific responses. So during developmental stages, a child exhibits general response to specific response in all activities. Now, for example, a child begins to call everyone as dad or mom, but in course of development, the child makes it distinct in calling. Next, principle of uniform development pattern. Now, development is uniform and in step by step process of development is same for all children. But each child follows its own time schedule of growth. For example, the baby creeps first, crawls, and walks next. So, language development, cognitive abilities, physical and psychosocial development are also somewhat sequential in one's life. Next, we have principle of integration and interrelation. So, the principle of integration and interrelation involves movement from whole to parts and from parts to whole in relation to psychophysical systems. So, one development makes its effect on the other. So, a good, healthy physique develops a healthy mind and an emotionally stable and socially amicable personality. So, the interrelation persists among the various aspects of one's growth and development. Next, principle of cephalocaudal and proximodistal. That is, the development proceeds in the direction of longitudinal axis such as head to toe or foot, which is known as cephalo means head. So, cephalocaudal sequence we say. The child first gains control over his head, arms, and then on his legs. So, when we speak about proximodistal, the sequence proceeds from nearer to distant. That is, a child in the beginning is seen to exercise control over large fundamental muscles of the arm, hand, and afterwards over small muscles of fingers. So, it will be clear when you see this picture. That is, cephalocaudal takes place from head to toe, proximodistal takes place from midline of body to outside. Now, I hope you have understood about the concept, principles, and stages of development.